what I was getting at is that I'm talking about what matters in life. And the question, which I wish we stuck with this line of inquiry, Destiny said, well, yeah, men don't like working because what they really like is the freedom that working provides. I said, well, the freedom to do what? He said, well, the freedom to pursue hobbies with friends and blah, blah, blah. And that's the choice. It's between the autonomy that working provides or the money provides versus the obligations of family. And here's the thing. And I said, if it was just hobbies, if it was just surfing and cards and StarCraft and all that, like I would tell myself, here's why. I didn't always feel this way. I didn't actually always feel very strongly about this, but I went to college and I thought about like what my life would look like, what I would have for store in my life. And this is what we can all say for certain about our life to some extent. Either we will die early, or if we live a long life, we're going to see both of our parents die, which is going to be brutal. And what's that going to look like when you're living with no parents? It's going to be miserable. Yeah. You're going to see most of your friends die. You're going to see your closest friends die young, some of them, or you'll see them die old. You will peak mentally and physically, and then every day after will be mentally and physically degraded. Henceforth after that, sometime in your 20s and 30s, you'll get sick, you'll get achy, you'll have pains, you'll wake up and be in pain. You'll be ugly, you'll be unattractive. If you're a man, women won't look at you. If you're a woman, men won't look at you. That is what your life looks like. And so when people say, well, I'm living for the freedom to do these hobbies and things, that's why I say on a rational calculation, if I'm looking at a life where my parents die, my friends die, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get achy, I'm going to mentally and physically peak, I'm probably myself at 30. Because you know what? Getting a little bit of money and maybe getting a boat or going on vacation, it doesn't outweigh all the bad things. And that's fundamentally, I think, the difference between me and Destiny is I believe that life is suffering. We're not here to have a good time. It's not a big theme park. We're here in this fallen world where there's work, where there's toil, there's birth pain. That's what the Bible says is the woman's penance for the original sin. There's birthing pain, and we have to die a hard death. Our soul is ripped from our body and we face a judgment. God. We can either accept that reality and live within it, within our physical and spiritual means. We can make decisions and enjoy the good things in the world, which is love, which comes through family and children. Or we can ignore all that and pretend like we're going to live forever and do OnlyFans and around and go and have a good time and make money and fly around the world and pretend we're never going to die, but we are. And that, I think, is the fundamental difference.
And you're right. In Islam, we believe the same thing, that life is, you're not supposed to really be fully happy now. Everything that you do is supposed to worship and please God so that you can make it to Jannah. And one of the important things, and you said that I didn't read the Quran, but what's an important part of Islam is that the father is supposed to pick the potential husband for his daughter, because you said all the single moms, they make bad decisions. A lot of the girls in the panel are saying that there's all difficult men to find, but yeah, it's difficult to find men that are of the proper value to raise children. So what's better if you follow the Bible, the Quran, and you're saying that that's not good, that these 2,000-year-old books or whatever, 1,400-year-old books. But the best way to have a relationship is if the father picks, and then.
Do you think a father would pick any of the men at this table?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. So number one, the Quran shits on every single man at this table. Okay, and that's not an insult to the men, because that's an insult to the Quran.
Well,
there's a lot of great men.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a lot of DMs.
However, Nick talks about how like, if that's all I've got when I hit 30. So you're not going to have a family by 30, and you're not going to yourself, because every single man at this table, believe it or not, has things that they can look back on and feel proud about. That's why you guys are here. That's why you're in the position you are. Myron, when you hit your age, I don't give a how old you get or how many kids you have, you're always going to look back at this podcast and be really proud that you did something that a lot of people thought you couldn't do, and you became the largest men's self-improvement podcast in the world. Working with Fresh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I say the same thing for Fresh too. Like all you guys involved in this podcast, I think you would all feel insulted if somebody looked at you like, oh, isn't this just a hobby for you guys? No, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into building this. And at the end of the day, you produce a product that I'm sure you guys and everybody that works on production here, behind the scenes and in front of the camera, feel really proud about. Wow. And then same thing with you. As much as I hate Nick and every being, I know that when Nick hits 50, 60, 70, okay, if you grow out of your man-loving phase and you get a wife, you're going to look back at all the shit you've done politically, and you're going to feel proud about the shit you've done. You're going to look back at Cozy TV. You're going to look back at AFPAC. You're going to look back at trolling Charlie. You're going to look back at all these things. You know what? What I did there was really cool. And if somebody went up to you and they said, wasn't your politics just a hobby? You're going to go, no, you. I put in a lot of work and I built something that meant something to me. Sneako, for all of the stuff that you worked on and will work on, you're going to feel the exact same way. No, you're getting there. The idea that you like dismiss all of these things as like just hobbies. Family comes second after working on yourself. An incomplete man or woman that doesn't even understand the things that they want or they like in life is not going to be able to produce a family that is going to be stable in the world. You have to find out what makes you happy, what allows you to contribute to society, what allows you to find fulfillment, and then from you being a complete person, from there flows a family, and then from a complete family flows a community, and then from a complete community flows a government. This is how the society is structured. Broken people that don't even know what makes them happy can't produce children that are going to be happy and fruitful in the world.
My answer to that.
Go ahead.
If I could answer that, so I didn't say that I would myself at 30 if I don't have a family. I said if there was nothing more to life other than amusements and hobbies and frivolities or even things like career, I would myself because the value proposition of life wouldn't be enough. I said there has to be more than that, which for me is God. For me, it's the things that proceed from God. And as far as what you say about career and profession, and we feel very good about ourselves. Honestly, I think we feel good about ourselves because it feels good to do honest work. It feels good to build things. When all is said and done, we are going to be here, and as quickly as we came, we are going to be gone. And as quickly as this earth came into existence, it will be gone. It's a pile of beans.
From dust we will return.
That's right.
in the Bible, bitch.
And so for me, the things that truly matter, the things that I'm proud about for what I do, you know, and by the way, and I don't hate you. I disagree with you, but I don't hate you. I try to be your friend. That's okay. One day you'll come around. The things that I'm proud of are the moral decisions that I've made. The reason I'm proud of AFPAC or America First or my movement is because I told the truth. It's because I converted people to Catholicism, which has an objective moral weight. If I was a streamer and I was just making content about like, hey, you know, let's do movie reviews or something, you know, would I say that it's worth living to watch movies? Would I say it's worth living to, you know, it's sort of like, it reminds me of the story about the concentration camp where they say they have us pick up a bag of rocks and move it to the other side of the camp and then fight. And, you know, it's Sisyphus. I think that life is Sisyphean without a meaning behind the suffering, without anything transcendent. I think that's what you lack. Where is the transcendence? Where is the objective meaning? There is none.
Yeah, and hold on, Destiny. If you look at it through this blue homosexual's point of view, he's saying the love you have for your mom is just chemicals firing in your brain. There's no spiritual component to this ideology.
The chemicals he inhales through his nose.
I like
I don't want to go back and forth. I'll just say my last piece and then I'll be there is a virtue. There are honorific talents that we can pursue that are like in a way like above just human day-to-day existence. There is something beautiful about a person playing a flute better than any other person could. There is something beautiful about men competing in the field, about athletics, about the Olympics, about different.
So when are you going to see your child, Stephen?
Tomorrow.
When you're done your career? How many followers? How many followers?
Where's your kid at?
I want your kid. Give me your child since you gave up. Since you picked streaming.
All right, let's let him finish.
People that go on to accomplish great things are proud of that. I think there is something greater than to call like a professional Olympian or a professional musician or a professional athlete or somebody that's built an amazing business, podcast, political movement, or YouTube essays or whatever. Like people that do these things have achieved something that's greater than just a hobby. And I think to call them that, I think is to discredit all the work that goes into it.
But are you arguing that it's just a hobby?
No, I'm saying it would
what he said like 15 times.
I'm saying it would all mean nothing if there wasn't a higher purpose. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, we're also not talking, now you're talking about the pursuit of excellence, which I see a little bit of godliness in you. When you say godly. There's something good about being the best flute player, I agree with you. But that's something totally different than the frivolities that I'm talking about. When it's a woman making a decision about family versus career, you know, if we're talking about wanting to be the best flute player ever, okay, that's one thing. But they're trying to be the best skin flute player ever in many cases. They're going out there, they're not learning.
The fact that every time I bring up examples, you compare it to like somebody just sucking shows that you have an incapability of understanding my position.
That was a tongue-in-cheek example.
No, it's not. But every single thing you've given is people. They're going to be an OnlyFans girl.
No. I said they're going to go. I said
the reality is
there is
some people pursue great things, and sometimes people do that in place of families. Like it's great that you're saying that it's sad to live for this life, and you want to live for a hypothetical afterlife. I'd rather live for the life that we all know that we have right here and right now, than hope to God that once we turn to dust, there's some other dimension with pearly gates where we get rewarded for our time spent suffering on Earth.
I'm saying there's nothing great about making spreadsheets at some company. That's what I'm saying.
So let me say this because there was a lot of good points brought here. So let me bring the ladies back in here real quick. Ladies, what do you think human
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.